Welcome, welcome everybody to another video, right? So today we wanted to talk about languages, language learning, and specifically why people don't seem to make progress in their language, right? But
Did you say white
um,
people?
why people don't make
Okay.
progress in their, but But
Uh,
firstly, what does progress mean in a language? Because let's actually talk about that for a second, because I think people also
Very easy.
misunderstand
It's
that.
when you get better, when
When
your
you get better,
language objectively gets better. This is what progress is.
yeah, I mean that's the technical definition, but the problem is subjectively, people keep underestimating where they're at. I've had this several times. I've had.
What do you mean subjectively? I think there is no such thing as subjective estimation of language. There is you can estimate the level of language quite objectively, can't you?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I'm talking about the personal estimation. So people
Oh,
very
okay.
often,
Makes sense.
very people very often underestimate. I've very rarely gotten people who
Or
overestimate.
overestimate.
It's
That's
rarer. It's rarer than
It's
people who
rare, but it
underestimate.
happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
from your
absolutely.
experience, it's rare, right?
Yeah, compared to people who
Because people
underestimate.
who overestimate the English, they don't take English lessons in the first place. You got it?
Right, right. I mean, I've had
They
people
don't need
who,
English. Like for example, you take my son who's overestimating his English, although his English is very good, but he's overestimating it by saying that I know all of English.
okay, is
And
that what he said?
why do I need to take lessons?
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, in a way, he's right because by the time he reaches a level, I mean, an age where he really needs to use it, his English would already be far better than it is now. So, you
Yeah,
know,
I agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, so, any case, so, but, but my point of view is that let's say you can't use the past tense, right? At some point, you
Okay.
start to be able to use the past tense. That's progress. Or like
That's an
you
improvement.
you start to, instead of saying two or three words at a time, you start to be able to say four or five words at a time. In chunks, right? That's an
Yeah.
improvement,
You,
right?
you can
You
build
know,
bigger sentences.
build bigger sentences. So you're using vocabulary and things like that. Now, I say all of this to say that I've very rarely seen people improve in these sorts of ways. Very
Okay.
rarely.
So can you tell me, has my English improved
I think
over the
so.
years?
I think so, right? Because we've taken lessons for more
Like,
than
you,
4 years. Yeah.
yeah,
And
but you don't sound very confident though. You like giving me
yeah.
the benefit of the doubt or something.
It's difficult to say because
Exactly,
I heard.
because you don't remember what I sounded like 4 years ago. You don't remember that, so you didn't have this goal of measuring my progress in the first place. That's why you don't know has my English improved. But if you were to listen to a recording made 4 years ago or something, you would probably see that it's improved because I know
Do
it's
you,
improved.
do you have a recording?
No,
For,
no, I don't
oh,
think I do. But
okay.
I think my English 4 years ago was well a bit clumsier, so to speak, at least.
Yes,
But
yes. I,
yeah.
I will admit that it was clumsier, but okay, because my view on also is what you're able to do in English, right? You are able to live in a foreign country. You're able to work in, your job,
Hmm.
which requires that. You're able to
Yeah.
function in your company in English. You're able to record YouTube videos. You're able to create music in English. You're able to talk with native speakers comfortably. You could have done this 4 years ago, but you just didn't do as much of what you're doing now.
Not to the same extent.
What does he mean not to the same
I
extent? Yeah, like because
Well,
you,
not on the same level as I can do it right now. So now I feel more comfortable talking to people than I would feel 4 years ago, and now I feel more comfortable. Again, I just feel more comfortable now.
so because
So
like from. Yeah. Mm.
and I know that I don't make so many mistakes. Although I do make mistakes sometimes, but not so many. So I have this general feeling like that my English in general has improved, and you know, and it's probably going to improve even more, so to speak.
Even more.
Mhm.
So,
Even
so that,
better.
but I will say the one thing that I did notice about you that, and this is also where you actually use English extensively every day, right? We're
Correct.
talking, you're using English in various ways, in various functions for several hours every day, right? Most people
Correct.
don't do that.
That
Most
is
people don't.
absolutely
Most people,
correct.
right? Most people don't do that, right? Most people, if they English is like something they do, when they're in the toilet, kind of thing, right? Well, okay, I don't know, but the point is, like, 30
Yeah, it's
minutes.
like
There was
reading a book. Yeah, reading a book
right,
or watching a TV show. Yeah.
right,
Yeah, I'll do my English now. I'm tired of watching like binge watching this TV shit.
and so they don't think in English, they don't function in English, right? Um,
Yeah,
and the thing is,
which means they don't function at all.
no, because, like, for example, Chinese, you don't
Yeah,
need.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, but, like, the funny thing is, even for Chinese people who live in Australia, they don't need English.
Yeah. Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
there,
because
there's so many of them.
yeah, exactly, they can function more or less in Chinese,
Yeah.
and they learn English because they have to.
Like Jesus Christ would say, "There's too many of you."
There's too many of you. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. Why would he
yeah.
say that specifically?
Uh,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
I recalled watching this film Jesus Christ Superstar, and he was like healing people, and they were like overwhelming him, and he said, "There's too many of you. There's too
Yeah.
little of me." Ah! Yeah,
Right.
sorry.
Right. So, but
The train
yeah,
went off the rails.
a little bit. the the point I want to say is, because, like, for me, okay, if I'm being honest, right, for people who have stuck with me for more than 6 months, I have noticed some
Mm,
increment of improvement. I guess the thing that surprises me is when I have those students that stay with me for a few months, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months,
mhm.
less than 6 months for sure. Then they disappear, right? Maybe they get
Okay.
kidnapped or something. Then they come back after a
Right.
year. I've had
Yeah.
several students like this. They come back after a year, sometimes some of them after a couple of years, and their English is more or less the same. I've had a couple of a couple of examples of people who've actually gotten way better, way better after a layoff.
Okay.
But generally speaking, people come back after a year and their English is still dog shit or mediocre or whatever. And I just think, surely
Okay.
a year, you should make some progress in a year, right?
Yeah. Well, apparently they didn't work on their English. Uh,
Right, right, right.
have you
That's
ever
the
tried
point.
being like? Have you ever tried being a serious teacher, like you know, the kind of that who makes people learn? No,
I
have you
do it.
tried that?
I do. I have lessons like that, like with pronunciation, for example. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just
So,
make them learn. You give them homework.
not exactly like give them homework, but I do give a little bit of homework, but very rarely. But I don't like giving homework because
Yeah.
giving homework is so cheesy. It's like, here, do this homework because I think it will help you improve, or I want to make you feel like you're being productive. No, if I give homework, it's to achieve an aim,
But
right?
isn't homework helpful in general?
No,
Because you
no.
kind of have to sort of, reprocess what you've
No.
heard over the lesson.
I'm even talk.
And
I'm talking any
you
kind
kind
of
of have
homework,
to,
whether you're talking about school or languages, doesn't matter. It's all pointless. If you want to do the work. So, if when it comes to school, for example, if you are interested in the subject, you would be reading about it anyway at home. This is what I did.
mm,
If you're interested in languages, you would already be studying it anyway by yourself. you don't need someone to tell you spend more time in it, right? If you were already interested, you would already do it, and that includes your schoolwork as well, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and that was my experience. I was interested, and when I wasn't interested, I didn't do homework, right? Very simple like that, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Of course, you can ditch homework when when you're not interested.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
Right.
what was it that we talked about?
So like no, like I know the answer is simple. Why people don't make progress? They don't work on their language.
Yeah.
My
As
question
simple
is
as that.
deeper than this. My question is deeper. They come to me and they say, "I need to improve. I need to improve my English. My English is very bad." You know, that
Mm.
was a Russian accent, but they, but then they, you know, and then they don't do any effort. It's like, well, it's like that's weird. Yeah, like, I
Uh,
have 80% of people are like this, right? They come to me, they say, I need to
uh,
change, and then make no efforts. So.
I have this question. Have you seen people who actually who try to improve, who work, and yet they struggle to improve? They kind of sort of they get kind of mired or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've seen that. I've seen that. You know, they're really
like
trying, but they get lost in the weeds, so to speak. They get lost in
yeah,
different
they
ideas,
kind of try to figure
or
it out. They try to figure out the difference between their own language and the English language, and they kind of get stuck in it. And they because sometimes it's really tangled.
that's right.
Uh,
That's right. That's right.
and it's
I've seen people like that. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, and I think I see a guy like that at work now because his sentence structure is different all every time, but I see he's trying to to make sense of it.
So,
Yeah.
and were you in that stage at some point, like 10 years ago or something like that?
I think I was at some point like I was trying to figure out like why is it like this? Well, I'll try to because you try to sort of make this connection between your language and the English language. To basically you try to connect the words one to one on one, uh,
One to one, yeah, one to
and
one,
it's
yeah.
not one to one. Okay, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Uh, so and when you stop trying to connect but I remember like for quite a long time I was trying to figure out this like one-to-one meaning. Well, there has to be one-to-one meaning, hasn't there?
Okay. I don't have that mentality, but I often get surprised when there is a one-to-one meeting. So I'm the opposite.
Sometimes there is.
I don't expect that there should be a one-to-one meaning
Yeah,
because
that's the
but
next phase. That's the next phase. So you figure out there is like it's better not to look for the one-to-one meaning,
right,
and then you find that there are some examples and quite a lot of them where
right.
it it coincides one to
Right.
one.
More than coincides, that you find that the way that people think about it is the same. And you think, okay, because I was of the impression that everyone is in their own language island, so to speak, and they've all developed their own ways of thinking, their own thoughts, you know, uh, for example,
Like
like
are
in
you
Russian,
implying there is no objective reality?
right. I mean, like for example, in Russian, you would say something is twice as cheap, but in English, you would say half as expensive, right? So right. So your thought process when it comes to
Now,
comparisons is
why can't
different.
you say twice as cheap? Why can't you say twice as cheap in English?
You can. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying what exists. Like how do native speakers actually construct these ideas and
Well,
concepts? Mm.
are you sure that like most native English speakers would say half as expensive rather than twice as cheap?
Mhm. Uh,
Okay.
no, no, no,
Well,
no.
can you
Actually,
imagine a native English speaker who
wait,
would
wait, wait,
actually
wait,
say twice as
wait,
cheap?
wait. To be fair, no, no. I think we
Some
would
kind of
say twice
grammar.
as cheap. We would say twice as cheap as well. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really think this example of yours is in the realm of logic. It's not in the realm of language.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Hmm. Right. Right. But in any case,
like
I in any case
I
the overlaps
I will never
hmm,
in the Russian language though you would never say half as expensive. Never. I would never. I can't imagine a person say half as expensive.
Right,
Maybe
right. So
that
there
was your
is,
example. That's what you
yeah,
meant to say.
yeah. So the and because like when Russian speakers do say twice as cheap, I'm like, that sounds a bit that sounds a bit interesting, you know? Like it makes complete sense. It's perfectly grammatical and all that. But when I
Okay.
hear it, I'm like, huh, I don't often hear that kind of construction, you know? And
I will use half as expensive from now on. I will use this sort of upside down comparisons, like half as big.
right, right,
How about that?
exactly.
How about that?
Yeah,
Twice as
exactly.
small.
Half.
No.
Yeah, no, exactly. You see, half as big makes sense. Twice as small sounds weird. Yeah, you know. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
really, yeah. So so
So like, should I say like my son is half as big as myself, as
yes,
me.
exactly.
He's half as
Yeah.
big. Oh, he's not twice as small. No.
No.
Oh my God. So okay, I got it. So I have to take the positive side of it, right? Like big, expensive, I don't know, rich. uh
Yes, that's right.
this
That's
guy's
right.
very
Because
poor. He's half as rich as the other guy.
exactly, I think we have a sort of, you know, that the 100% is the positive side, so to speak, right? The big, the rich, the whatever, expensive,
So
and, and
if I want to say that Jack is poor and he's half as rich as Joe, that makes sense, right? Jack's
mm,
very poor. He's half as rich as Joe.
right. That sounds weird, yeah, because
Yeah, that sounds very weird. That's
yeah.
how it's meant to be. He's like he's very poor, and why is he suddenly half as rich?
Yeah, but that's how
Oh,
you would
he's just
say.
half as rich.
Um, so, yeah, right. So, all right. What
Yeah,
what do I want to say?
off the rails again. So
Off the rail.
what did you want to say? Go
So,
ahead.
right. What else? Yeah. Anyways, my son is being silly. So,
Okay.
right.
Oh,
He's
look, like
insisting
look
on.
where?
He wants the
Hey, look,
coffee as well. Hey, look at the camera.
look, look where? Hey, look,
He managed
where?
to. Yeah,
Why did you call your son
I
Look?
because of Star Wars. Woo! No, no.
Okay. Yeah.
So why did I call him Luke? Because I wanted to keep
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, Luke, look over there." I wanted to do that, you
No, because when you say, "Hey, look," the next thing I say is like, "Where? What? What happened?"
know. Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, yeah. Um, so what do I want to say? Yeah. So
No.
okay. So you got the tango stage, right? And then after that, you have the acceptance stage, kind of thing. What sort of
Hmm.
comes after that? Does it like develop a certain level of
Okay, so
mastery or
first, yeah, okay, so first you try to make sense with your own language compared with the English language. Then you stop trying to make sense of it. Then you figure out that there are some words that coincide, and after that, well, I don't know, you just
you just sort of
accept
get used to
things
it?
as they
You just
are.
sort of get used to
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
you get used to it.
Mm.
Exactly. There has to be some kind of acceptance. You know, it's
Right.
very
Yeah.
important because without it you will keep struggling. So I see people struggle. I'm not a teacher, but I talk to a lot of people who use English as their second language and who struggle. Yeah,
Right.
who struggle making
Exactly.
sentences.
They struggle making
And but some
sentences,
people
right?
are very good. Some people are very good. Yeah, but
But
most of them they
what,
struggle.
what's the difference between those people who speak like this and the other people who can actually chunk their words and say, you know, a few words together? What's the difference between them? Why is one person thinking about every word that they want to say, but the other people can just
Like
sort
you
of
are
say
now.
the thought. You're right. So like what's the difference between those people
Well,
then? Like what are they doing?
it's a matter of experience. It's actually their language level. This is the measurable thing, man. This is what you can measure. Yeah. So you can
Right.
make them speak, and then you can measure. That's
Right. Yeah. No,
so
yeah,
that's
sure.
something you can really measure in numbers. Like you
Hmm.
can have a 1 million scale, or like scale from 1 to 10, whatever. But again,
Yeah,
you can
measure
measure it.
quantitatively, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
the
That's why there are so many tests out there, like and people do it
so,
all the time.
so did you ever go through a stage where you're saying words one by one?
Yeah, of course, everybody has.
You said of course, but you don't remember. Yeah.
I don't remember it. Yeah, I don't remember it, but I believe I have, because, well, I I didn't start learning English at the age of 1. I think I started at the age of 6 or something, or maybe at the age of 4, but not as early as everybody, as a native speaker would.
Right. Still, I think a lot of people would be envious to have your level of English, right? So yeah. Yeah. Flatter me more, flatter me more. That's what you're thinking. No, anyway, so
Yes, yes,
the
yes,
not sure
yes.
you'll get you everywhere with me. Anyways, but
Advertise me.
uh, yeah, you're gonna put this on your front page on LinkedIn, or as my Spanish speakers like to say, LinkedIn, LinkedIn. Like it's not LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
it's LinkedIn. It's
Okay.
not LinkedIn. Yeah, and that's how they say it in Spanish, right? I didn't. I was always wondering why do Spanish people say LinkedIn, and then I heard a Spanish video and I heard them say LinkedIn, and I realized these Spanish speakers they're using a Spanish pronunciation when they're speaking in English. That's terrible.
Yeah, they don't
It's
give a shit.
terrible. I'm just like, yeah, my God, and it's like, yeah, yeah, that's like, uh,
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. It would be like me pronouncing Japanese with my English accent. It's like Tokyo, right? Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
Tokyo, but like, okay, obviously with Tokyo, right? Yeah, we're gonna have to, with some names we do use the English accent. Although I do know
You
how
would
to
say
say it
like
with the
Tokyo. I know how to
Tokyo,
say
yeah,
it.
Tokyo, yeah, Tokyo,
Tokyo.
Tokyo, Osaka,
Uh,
Osaka, Osaka.
東京行
Uh,
ったことがありますか?
something, something, something. Uh,
No, by the way, for me, it's really hard to speak English or any other language. So again, so this is the question of accents. I have this idea of accent per language. So when I speak English, it's hard for me to switch to like my Russian accent. It is hard for me to switch to my Russian accent, but I can.
but I
It's
can.
really hard. I have to stop and think. So it doesn't work for
Your
me
Russian accent is very bad.
like
It's
that.
very bad. Yeah, let me teach
Yes,
you.
my
I will be
Russian
your
accent. I
I will
really
be
have
your
to
Russian
stop
teacher.
and think. I
Yes.
really have to stop and think every word that I say in my Russian accent.
That
I'm very
sounds
slow.
Russian. That sounds very very Russian, very Russian.
No,
I can't do
mine
it
is
very well.
better, man. Mine,
Yeah,
you can't do it.
yours
You can't.
yours is better
You can't
because
outrace me, man. You
I
can't.
can't I can't out
I'm very
nasal
good at
you.
it.
I can't out nasal you. When it comes to
And when talking about Japanese, it's really hard for me to imagine speaking with some other accent rather than with my version of Japanese. So
right, right.
rather than like saying Tokyo e takoto ga arimasu ka, I can't say with any other accent like Tokyo e takoto ga arimasu ka. I don't know.
Itako. What's Itako? Yeah.
Itakoto, Itakoto. Have you ever been in Tokyo?
Itakoto. Oh, been to. Okay, gone to.
行ったことがありますか？行ったこと
Itakoto.
がある. It means, have you ever been done something?
Yeah,
Like,
that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, 魚を食べたことがありますか? Have you ever eaten fish?
That koto structure. This is an example of a structure that I have noticed and I've accepted exists in Japanese, but I just haven't gotten used to it yet. You know, I just
Right.
it just feels weird. Even though we have it in English, we have got like we have the ing,
I
the
don't think you
gerund
have it in
form.
English.
It's the gerund. Koto is basically the gerund form. That's all it is. Yeah,
Oh, maybe.
yeah.
But
That's
how is it in the past? How is it in the past then?
uh that's a
Like
good question.
itakoto, not ikukoto, but itakoto. Why is it in the
Right,
past? How is it
right.
like gerund in the past?
Because like
That's
you can't say that because
again, you see, you're trying to make sense. You're trying to make sense with your language and the Japanese language, like word by word, like structure by structure. It's not going to work.
yeah.
That's
So there
the
you go.
problem.
I fallen into the trap. I fallen into the trap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
So
exactly.
again, you try to make sense of it, but you will never make sense of it.
Right, exactly, exactly. But there you go. That's a really nice example. Well, let's leave it here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.